This morning on 2 for 81 Undone, my first guests are Leroy and Alex, who are part of the crew of this amazing two-wheel journey from east to west called the Southern Crossing. So we might fill the listeners in a little bit on what the Southern Crossing is. So three blokes on motorbikes are going to head off from the most easterly mainland point, which would happen to be Byron Bay, and you're virtually going to travel in a straight line all the way to Steep Point in Western Australia with no support. And it's never been done before, has it?
Not this particular, it's never been done before. Certainly from east to west, there's been travels across the things like the French line and the gun barrel, but we're actually following the 26 parallel. So we're following the Queensland-New South Wales border up around to the 26 parallel and basically following that in a straight line, straight across the Simpson Desert and the Western Deserts.
And how long is the actual ride? Like, have you worked out what the kilometrage is on it?
As the crow flies, it's under 5,000 kilometres, but because we're up and down sandhills and just the geography out there, it's coming up to about 9,000 kilometres. We're riding the Yamaha Tenere 660 Tenere, which is a very good bike for this. There's been a lot of work done on the bikes to get them specific for this ride.
I think it's a very exciting form of transport, and it's also a very dangerous form of transport. So have you ever had a really bad motorbike accident, Leroy?
I wouldn't say a very bad one. I expect over the next over this trip, I expect to be on the ground a little bit more often.
Most of us have been dreaming of a trip like this for most of our lives. I think a lot of Australians and a lot of people around the world wish that they could leave everything behind and just head off to the mountains and deserts and travel basically for 6 weeks of their life without having to worry about paying bills and doing all that sort of other stuff that we do every day. Yeah. So it's a dream come true for all of us. Yeah. But as far as preparation goes, I can say it's been 2 years into making now. So yeah, we are hopefully prepared, but you just never know until the last day, I suppose.
Testing. No. Test.
I can hear you. I can hear the button.
My name's Lee. I've come up from the Riverland, South Australia, and I'm going to try to get this 1984 Hilux coast to coast, and we'll see what happens.
This is the calm. It's going to be one hell of a storm. But yeah, really can't wait to get going. Can't wait, but I'm going to miss, obviously, my partner and my kids. That's for sure. Yeah, I don't know. Bit nervous. Actually, no, a lot nervous. But I think we'll make it to Byron.
I'm going to miss Luke, but I know it's an adventure that he's always wanted to go on. The kids are going to miss him, and we can't wait till he comes back.
Good feeling. I just, it's here today, so.
Finally happy it's here. No more stressing about things that are going wrong. And late night, early morning. Well, might still have the early morning. At least I can get some sleep now, so. At least you wish. This is Pacific Ocean water. We collect it off the rocks at Cape Byron, most easterly point.
Easterly point of where?
Australia.
This is a spot, and what we're going to do every day is send back a message to our followers to tell them where we are. So we'll set this off, it sends a satellite beam back and puts it on a Google map so they can see exactly where we are in Australia within metres. We're going to set this off as day one of the great adventure. I think it's on.
Okay. So I'm thinking if we assemble everything.
It's the big day. We've come up to Byron Bay to see the boys off, and the weather's beautiful, everything looks perfect. Let's just hope it's a great run for them.
G'day, we're Mark and Fiona from Outback Now.
We're here to support the guys from the Southern Crossing to head off across Australia, and we wish them all the best.
Very envious, wish I was going with them.
Oh, you're kidding me.
When he was a little boy, he went camping with his parents. He had his own little black box with his own knife, fork and spoon in that. And this is it, right here.
He hasn't seen it for nearly 20 years.
But it makes me part of the outdoor club. And I think we've got a lot of outdoors coming up in the next 6 weeks. It's amazing, amazing.
We've come across from Renmark, about just over 2,000 kilometres in 3 days. We've come over here to see the boys off on their trip. We're looking forward to seeing them off, and hopefully they have a good trip and come back.
You've made his day. I just go, you know.
Can't see it with that backlight.
And then when you're leaving, you just go down there.
No worries. Team hug.
Hello.
Hug. You don't want to lose stuff you don't need.
Okay, don't fall off. We'll have to hold it.
You're going to pour out.
But it was a great ride from Byron Bay to here, and I think they've got a big adventure ahead of them. So yeah, a lot of fun, a lot of times, a lot of good and bad times, but it'll be great. So good luck to them all.
Have a great time out there.
all the best, be safe, and we'll see you in 6 weeks' time.
Wish we were going.
Bastards.
What's happening, Jody?
We're finding something different to what's on the map.
We're gonna have to do a big loop.
Thanks, mate.
Well, we can actually go around there, catch on and catch the Weir Road across.
Can we just jump? Beautiful, mate.
From there to there.
I can't drink it.
We can't. It's meant to go that way somewhere.
Yeah?
Don't know.
So tell me a bit about Michael.
Well, Michael has on his GPS, it's showing him the correct path. We're on the correct path, but it goes across the creek and then turns back along the hills. But Michael's just letting them find the way for themselves.
That's the man.
No, you can't film this. Sorry.
So what's up here?
We've just battled cross creeks on this bit of a cow track for some kilometres, and now we're up against a lock fence.
About half again. We're about halfway from when we entered the property.
Now it's a case of going back all the way. We'll have to unfortunately catch a little bit of bitumen and catch this track back further up the bitumen, but nothing you can do about it, that's it. But it's disappointing because we're halfway there. But We don't have time to waste, and we've got to keep moving. So we'll go back the way we came.
Well, if that's where you want to camp, that's what you got to do. I just want to camp here. Yeah.
Doubt about it. If you want, I'll tell the world. Yes, you know I'll shout it. When you walk, talk, move, yeah, girl, get me high as a guy. So right over here, this weekend, go home at night.
Wow. Pretty sure the hot water might be cold. Does anyone know?
Very kind of you.
Oh, no way.
Oh, sorry.
I was waiting for it.
It's not quite nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a nice play there. Steak tonight.
You wouldn't be dead.
I don't think so. He's wrong with that. Instead of buying from
Don't get anything. Butch McFadden. He's offered his train carriage accommodation at his dad's camp on Wednesday night, and a place called Kukren Lake. So that's really exciting. Do I sound excited? I do.
Good.
There's 3 rooms free of charge, so we'll fit everybody in at Cameron's Corner. Really nice people. There you go.
This is the man responsible for getting lost.
That one will join up. And
Which one? No, that's the man who's responsible.
Down here is not an option. Feathers out and runs into a creek that's a bit large.
Is the track over the creek? Is it possible to get over the creek?
A bit difficult to get to the creek with the vehicles.
The GPS is indicating this way down the track here, but it just dead ends, totally dead ends. So there's another track down this way which comes to the creek. So we're just checking to see what's on the other side of the creek. It pretty much will be very difficult to get across, but if the track opens up again on the other side of the creek, we might just give it a go and see if we can get over. It's been, yeah, the road's pretty washed out all over the place, so we're hoping it's going to get a little bit better shortly. It's a challenging day. Sort of loop right back round south of the park. Is that how it works?
Yeah, I'd say so, mate. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
I was here years ago and I came and found it again, but just go into the flat back there.
Have a good one, mate.
Enjoy the fishing. No, I might need to push. Rock me, baby, rock me.
Straight ahead there, Dad. Rock. Goes there. Oh, what does it say? Head to go left, tail to go right? Oh, that way.
It's not moving though, did it?
Just then. Yeah.
Did you bring any?
No, I got heaps of them, but they're in my car.
Come on, you didn't carry any. Right.
That's all right.
Now I'm right for lunch.
Grab a piece of ginger. Alex 1, Leroy 2, John 1 and Geordie 2. We'll keep count of that for the rest of the trip.
What day are we on?
Stopped and bike's moving.
No, bike's laid over.
What day are we on?
There's a difference between
They feel the vibration on the ground and they...
So we're just coming along this dirt road and we've stumbled across an echidna, a spiny anteater, made the 5-cent piece famous apparently, and they've got a long spout which they lick up the ants with, but it also, when we stopped to have a look at it, it started to bury into the ground and all its spikes came up. So you've got to be really careful you don't run over these, because these spikes will go straight through your tyres, and it certainly doesn't do the echidna any good and doesn't do your tyres any good. But you don't see them very often, so this is a real thrill for us.
EPIRB and spot tracker, as well as a whistle and compass, were dropped on the track somewhere, so we've had to go back and search for them.
cat can't be far
No.
from where the spot came out. The heavy things would have fell off first.
Yep. Just gonna hold. 2 essential pieces of emergency equipment, and in here then we've got the first aid kit, which is probably the next to go. Can't afford to lose any of them, so really stupid. I've got to be more careful, a lot more careful.
Whoa! Petrol?
Well, that's another way of doing it.
That's it.
Here we are, it's morning of day 4 now. We're running a little bit behind schedule. We had some real hold-ups with the some pretty rough tracks on the way up here. But anyway, we're here and we're at the 1 tonne post at Muggendye, which is right where the squiggly line of the border in Queensland, New South Wales turns into the straight line heading west out to Cameron's Corner. So this post marks the 29th parallel. So on this side Queensland, that side New South Wales. Where we camped last night was Queensland. If we were 10 metres that way, we would have been in New South Wales. Queensland, New South Wales. Queensland, New South Wales. The 29th parallel, that's where we're going.
They're to stop the cattle. Don't like passing over them. They can't step between the railway line.
It's a weird place, I tell you that. It's like, it looks like a junkyard, but it's an operating mine. I like it.
No, just like, exactly like a little excavator bucket. Yeah, bonus. When you hit it.
Oh, look at them.
So all the sludge goes in solid apart from where that. Oh, you can jump in there and you only go to your knees. Oh, it's still soft underneath. And stragglers.
One straggler.
We've got nothing up in that level when we done it here, but when we done all this with jackhammer from here all the way back around that way was done with jackhammer to rickshaw before we had a dig about 10 years ago. We tunnelled around to here and the floor was, I was making my floor about there. And like I'm standing up there digging that, and when I'm digging the floor out I heard this crunch. And when I had a look, there's broken black knobbies in this. Just here. We can probably actually gouge some out of there actually. And there was nothing up there and I thought, oh, better come back and have a look at this. So I come back and took the floor out. The floor was here. But I come back and I took this out and we hit a pocket of black knobbies. Only got about 2.5 grand right here.
There's another one.
Yeah.
Look, in Opal.
Yeah, that's it, right there. Every little pile is a 9-inch hole back filled and all the big piles are all 3-footers. Hole covers on them,
Yeah,
or
dude,
they
you
just
gotta go
completely
to.
packed on. I'm working there with the blower it's only 12 foot down to the roof.
Blower.
That's a fireplace. See that? That's a fireplace.
Wide. So 900 wide.
Round, to just big enough to get you down and for you to drop low.
And then what, at the ground? It's all right.
Where it's dangerous, you prop it.
Good girl. She's a good girl. She's a nice girl.
You're in training.
Oh, yeah. Well trained. We towed this train from the other side of the 9 Mile about 5 years ago. Just lifted it up and put it on wheels and towed it over with a bulldozer. And now it's Dad's home. He's got his bedroom and living room and a spare bedroom down the end in it. And they're pretty popular around Lightning Ridge. There's probably 30 or 40 of them scattered all around the place. How was the ball?
The one that
old place.
Oh, they got the set phone.
I'm making a savoury damper.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got some salt, garlic chives and baking powder in there, and I'm going to add the self-raising flour.
You come from here.
Dinner in Lightning Ridge.
Put it in here and so it can work in a bit better. Need a bit more.
Alright then, I'll let it charge up.
You'll have a couple, mate.
Inside.
One of them,
They're in? They're in? That's it?
I sure do, right there.
Half
bottle
from
last night.
Cook something for
I sure don't.
How much do you want on top?
The damper is now going to cook for 20 minutes to a half hour.
Yeah, 62 for that other camelback.
break the
Right,
black,
yeah.
the
Leave it up.
Up the colour in it.
And then the side on the ground. Yeah. There should be little knobbies and little bits of colour, and this is what we've got out of where we are. And then once you're finished with it, you just sweep it off.
I better not sweep it off.
Yeah. Got all sorts of ways of moving it around, and we set it up at the next place and we go again.
From, you'll see the band, it's about that thick, and it's all that stuff, and that's what the colour's in.
Just wait for it to glisten.
Well, it doesn't actually glisten, but it stands.
Hold it in the sun. I've got dusty hands.
I won't be able to see the opal in it. Just hold it in the sun.
While there's still a bit of light out, I'll tip that in.
So what are you going to do with that, John?
Sell it.
That's putting 3-foot hole drill holes down.
This is beautiful stuff.
Andrew, mine.
Black opal, a lot of people think of a black stone, but it forms with the layers of colour and layers of black opal. From quite a few locations, but you only get the black opal here. It really can make the colours stand out a lot more. My name's Jo Lindsay and I'm in Lightning Ridge. I came here 15 years ago to visit my father, who's an opal miner, and he put me to work straight away on the opal cutting machines, and I picked it up really quickly and just loved it. So here I am 15 years later with my own business. I'm a jeweller by trade, and I cut opals and make them into jewellery, and it's quite a passion actually. So the opals are addictive. The red ones are the most valuable by far, but I have a bit of a passion for the green. It's my favourite colour. But all the opal miners are out there digging for the red on blacks, and people travel from all around the world to come and see Lightning Ridge and the process of opal mining. You never ever know with an opal what you've got until you start to clean it up. And this one's very disappointing indeed.
And it just gives an example of what it does look like. Comes out of the ground.
You want a tray or something?
Oh,
Calm down, Maddie, calm down. You're getting a bit excited.
I told you I want to become a collector, opal collector.
Remember I told you about being rough?
3.7 Opal FM, news and information for Lightning Ridge.
Yep, but actually got a simple beat.
It's a long journey ahead of us.
Yeah, how much further you got to go?
That's a good question. A bloody long way. We started on Sunday from Byron Bay, so we went up to the lighthouse at Byron Bay, and just on that point we have collected a litre of water each on the 3 bikes from the Pacific Ocean. We're taking them over to Steep Point and putting them in the Indian Ocean as a tribute to the Leyland brothers who did this journey in the other direction back in 1966.
Well, and because I really appreciate everything. Thanks, mate.
I got everything.
Climbed to the fence, I go down and went down and laid down to sleep. Well, this used to be their toilet. The toilet was in here, and you'd open the door, you'd step in and sit down and look out the window, and yeah, you'd hop out, finish your business and close the door. But they've got inside flush toilet now, so they haven't used this for a few years, but for about 20 years this was their toilet. My name's Butch, I'm an opal miner, and I've been here for about 29 years. And loving every minute of it. Apparently back in the late 1800s, a farmer was moving his sheep through the area, and there's a big thunderstorm come up, and a bolt of lightning actually hit the ground near the flock and killed them all. It's supposed to have been about 200 head of sheep. And that was the original story of how Lightning Ridge got its name. Originally it was called Warringullah. When it's not a lake, it's a massive big wheat field. It's 5 kilometres across and it's about 8 kilometres long. But when the Queensland floodwater came down a few months ago, it just inundated the whole area, and it fills this lake up, and it stays as a lake for about 2 to 2.5 years. And then as it subsides, the farmer will plough around the edges and put his wheat crop in, and the subsoil underneath will hold the moisture for 2.5 years after that, and they'll get Australian record crops for a couple of years because of that. Beautiful. Thanks, lads. You don't have to do it full time either, just come up part time.
crawling on my belly where the sun don't ever shine, trying to make a dollar down in this old cold pine.
I came here 29 years ago, and just grows on, you know. It's just the way of life's tremendous, and you know, it's a nice laid-back way of life. And I mean, to live in Lightning Ridge, I think you've got something to do. You need to have something to do with Opal, because Lightning Ridge is Opal. You know what I mean? It's a great little town if you want to, you know, an easy life. That's what I've found with it anyway. And I think somebody says to me, "You won $1 million tomorrow, what would you do?" I said, "Well, I'd stay here." And that's Lightning Ridge. Sort of that explains Lightning Ridge anyway to me anyway. You know, it's just a.
And he won't leave me alone. There's got to be a better way than staying underneath this black stone. Well, my dreams all turn to ashes, my treasures turn to rust. I can feel my goodwill leaving as I breathe the devil's dust. As I stand here at the cliff now, with my shovel in my hand,
it's building up dust.
That old black hole is laughing, son of you if I can. All my life's ambition keeps slipping through the cracks. The only dream I have now.
The town has a lot of history here associated with it. With Cobb & Co used to stop, the old coach and horses used to stop here, and it's also said that Dan Kelly got this far as well, one of the Dan Kelly gang.
In Australia, a bandit or an outlaw is called a bushranger. One of Australia's most infamous bushrangers was a man named Ned Kelly.
Population is about 25 people, just a small population, mostly sheep and cattle and cropping in the area.
Out of Victoria he rode with his brother Dan. He loved his people and he loved his freedom, and he loved to ride the wide open land. Ned Kelly was a victim of the changes.
What are you thinking?
That came when his land was sprouting seed, and the wrongs he did were multiplied in legend, with young Australia growing like a weed. Ned Kelly took the blame, Ned Kelly won the fame, Ned Kelly brought the shame, and then Ned Kelly hanged.
Keep going. Just taking off the air filter cap, have a look at the air filter, see if it's dirty, and if so, changing it.
Is it bread for breakfast or is it? Yep. Really? Yeah. Well, perhaps we can have it tomorrow night.
I cannot cut it.
Well, there's some parmesan in there, so a little bit of parmesan cheese. Maybe we could put some of that in.
Here we are. Tried to make it to Hungerford last night. We made it about 20 kilometres out of Hungerford. It was just too dangerous to go on because the sun was in our eyes, and then it got dark. And on the track that we were riding on, it was too choppy, too sandy to be able to continue on. So we come in, set up camp. 8:30 now. We're just about packed up, ready to go again.
No, but the tracker just marks not the right one then.
No.
What are you doing?
So guess I won't.
Will we get across this? What's they said though? We'll measure it out though. I mean that's 57. Oh, that's.
Jumping Falls yesterday, the boys are riding with fear today. They're very slow, very cautious. I don't know if that's a very good thing when you're on the party.
You can drive me crazy.
Yeah. Sharing a bit of Murdy and then
All right,
up last night. What, you get fuel, the water, what do you want to do?
All of him.
We've been on the road for a week.
Feels like a year. So it feels like we've been on the road for a year. Feeling very tired. Too many falls yesterday. Kept hitting the deck, kept banging my head on the road, and that doesn't do you much good. A lot of work holding this bike up and going through all this bull dust and soft stuff.
Yeah, I think so.
We've got Alex at 6. The boss has got.
Just pretend to mark something. Just mark another one for later.
Mark another one down for Alex.
Who's the artist?
I've been to the Hungerford beauty parlour this morning to get my hair done, and the way they do it here is they get handfuls of bull dust and smash it into your hair and rub it in. Sprinkle just a little bit of water so it sets, and this is how it looks. It's beautiful.
Puppies as well.
Alright. Diesel?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think
Hungerford's a little tiny town, got a pub, a couple of houses, and Publican's a really nice guy. We're just fueling up now, filling up the jerry cans, extra fuel. We'll go and have a coffee, and then we've got to hit the road. Well, we don't make schedule, but got to think about the safety of the team, and ridiculous pushing it in those sort of conditions. So we'll push on today. We're trying to make Cameron's Corner by tomorrow night.
Maybe leave it. No way!
You see me?
At least you don't read it coming off. This is so tricky.
Okay, John, give it a go, mate. Lee, go give it a go.
My life's too important. Lee, you have a go.
Yeah, you're the star.
It doesn't help having a flat tyre.
As soon as you try to counter your balance,
give us a squiz.
It just goes.
Okay,
Now
let me
what
ask
is-
him. John, did you try this one?
I did, Maddie.
Okay, what was your opinion about
It was delicious.
Come on, don't lie to me. 2 minutes ago you
It's
just said something
delicious.
else.
It's lacking sugar, but it's delicious.
It's just not sweet enough for John.
Okay.
Just pulled into Thargomindah, had a bite to eat. We've had to come right up north around the Boolaroo River because it's all south of us is just floodwaters, so there's no way of getting through. So we've had to take the road up to Thargomindah. We've just stopped here at this historical house and about to wander inside and have a bit of a look and just see what's historical about it.
Forgot while giving myself a pedicure.
Okay.
We're just cleaning out the air filters. One of the cool drivers we've met here has offered us his air compressor, so we'll take advantage of that and just a little general maintenance. Should be like concrete sandstone.
I didn't shave this morning, but I did get a shower at, where were we? Nakundra. And unfortunately we were at Nakundra, we shouldn't have been, but we had to get around the Boolaroo River. Down to Cameron's Corner Road. Conditions aren't too bad, but you've got to stay up on the pegs the whole time because there's just so much loose stuff on the road, but there's enough hard stuff to keep a little bit of a constant speed up, which is nice. And we're doing pretty good time, so we hope Cameron's Corner early afternoon so we can all have a little bit of a break and a rest because it's been go up to this point. And yeah, just to sit down for a minute and stretch the legs and have a beer, I think would be nice. Up on the pegs all the time and just wearing my knees out or legs out, so stop and have a stretch. Go again.
Probably get on it and cut back if it turns to shit. Yeah, I don't think there's any traffic yet, so it won't be as soft as that crap. Considering jumping across onto this new road that they've made, not sure how long or how far it goes, but it's running parallel and it hasn't had any traffic, so it's not as soft as what we've been going through, which is a bit of hard work.
Not wrong.
Still travelling at a good pace.
Probably maintaining 60 kilometres an hour.
Something like that. 55, 60.
Good. It's just tiring.
Yeah.
Just up on the pegs the whole time.
Working it the whole way.
Working the whole time.
Luke, this is Lee, are you there? Mike, this is Lee, are you receiving? Mike, are you there? Mike, are you there? Lee? Behind there. Try to relax.
So tell me what you're going to do.
Well, I'm going to try and pin this to the roof but keep my feet to the ground. Apparently, bartender just told me, this is how you do it. You put a tack through what seems to be a coin. I never saw what you put in there. And your feet have to stay on the ground and you throw it up. And I put my sunglasses on because I know me, and when I throw it up, I'll look up. So, you know, here we go.
Oh, nice! When people come here to camp, if they want to bush camp here, we don't believe in charging anyone to camp in Australia. So they donate $5 to Flying Doctor. Hence they put it on our ceiling. Their feet don't leave the floor, they can't use the stick, and you hit a light bulb, you shout the bar. But that all goes to Flying Doctor, and what we're trying to do now is fundraise the money from that to go to our local Flying Doctor strip that we use for lighting there, instead of going straight down to Broken Hill. So hopefully we can fundraise a bit more money to get some more lighting for our strip.
Well, I'm Cherie, and this is Bob. We're engaged and living at Cameron's Corner. The type of people that live here, I would classify them as the real Aussies of Australia. They live a lifestyle. They're not here for the money, it's the people they meet. The sort of people that we get through here are a variety. They range from grey nomads to tourists. What else?
Oh, you've got your bike rallies, club events.
A lot of rallies and club events. Adventurers out to see what's out there. To no avail. At no avail. The reason that Cameron Corner keeps us here is the honesty of the people and the lifestyle.
Yes, the lifestyle, I think, and the locals. You don't meet people like that every day.
Nope. Oh, no, I can't do anything about it.
Come on, John. Get over here.
Hey! Hey, that nearly got me.
Hey, down again.
It's got it. Come on.
Oh, that's got to be Luke.
Of course, at night time the thing.
Sunday morning brings the dawn in. It's just a restless feeling by my side. Sunday morning brings the dawn in. It's just a restless feeling by my side. Early dawn, Sunday morning. It's just the wasted years so close behind.
You can't get over the causeway and into Macquarie.
Watch out, the world's behind you.
Yeah, what I'm saying,
There's
shortest
always
past this
someone around you who will call.
But that's the only way you'll go north to Haddon is through Arrowbury.
It's nothing at all.
Day 9 now, and we've stayed last night here at Cameron's Corner. The people here, Fen and Cheryl, are just the most wonderful people and just made us feel at home. We're here at Corner Post now. This is the corner South Australia, New South Wales and Queensland. Queensland, New South Wales, and Australia. And so this is basically the first bit of a leg for us, so first crossing the border. So it's been a hard road to here, but I expect it's going to get harder. Heading north today, where the north is. We're heading north today up to up towards Inaminka.
Real outback. That's one of the reasons Cheryl and I bought this place is when we travelled for 5 years all around Australia, and we're losing the outback spirit. It seems to be going. The look after your mate sort of style. It's going. So we just sort of bought this place to sort of bring back the, as the people come through here, they experience hospitality, they experience friendship. A yarn over the bar, we're all one-on-one. That's what Australia's about. Just come out here, have a look, sit back, relax. Don't just speed through. You've only touched Cameron Corner if you just drive past and see a post. You're just going to sit back and talk. Then you experience the atmosphere of Cameron Corner.
Start it soft.
Down. You're right. Alright? Don't move. Stay still. Stay still. Stay still.
Oh, I think.
Down.
Put some shade on him, look.
And broken.
Yeah.
And no, even here.
Doesn't always matter.
The nearest airport is at Tibooburra. So we get a doctor there. Tibooburra may or may not have a hospital.
Jeez, you're nice, aren't you?
Yeah, this, but I figured it just needs more time, maybe.
Another hour? That's as much as we can give you.
Yeah,
and still yeah, we just thought we'd better check in with you. Leroy's had a bit of a fall, and it looks like he might have hurt his ribs a bit. So we just thought we'd let you know that we're I think we're just past the Grant Bore turnoff on the Bore Road.
Cautious.
I think it's deep bruising.
Just a little bit tight.
Take your time on that. Don't rush it.
Is it a burning?
Precautionary, we'll go back to Cameron's Corner, which is the closest camp with facilities, and see how he pulls up tomorrow morning. And hopefully everyone can get back on their bikes and we keep going. Worst case scenario, we'll make that decision when the time comes. Either me and Geordie keep going or we just stop.
Would you keep going?
Not sure. Not sure at all. This is Leroy's dream, so it doesn't feel right to keep going without him.
I guess it's part of the adventure. Tough times, as we would have expected, but we'll go on as we can. What do you got?
Take a breath in.
White one. Do you want to use it?
Oh, I can jump on the bike now. Still second.
Does it?
Want me to support you?
That's his bad arm.
That's your bad arm, is it?
Bad arm.
Go back further. Up.
I'll go around the other side then.
Sorry, go that way a bit, yeah.
Hey, you just come back.
What's your head? You alright, going back?
Yep. You right, Dad?
Yeah, I'm great.
Hey.
Okay, right.
Is there any way we can move you to make you more comfortable, Dad?
No.
You sure?
Mainly that when you come out of that real thick sand, you can see
You're good.
the water run down the road.
Because I'm going to get.
Okay, that's what I meant, yeah.
Where's your finger, mate? I reckon we get him walking. I'll give you a lift.
Good.
You ready for this?
You gonna make your way? Do it yourself. It'll be safer than anyone else unless you want support on your shoulders. Under your shoulder blade there. Right up. There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Pull the blanket. Young fella, keep the support under his arm, under here, right? Just, yeah, under his shoulder there, without too much on that side.
Oh, jeez.
Under his right.
That side, yeah, beauty.
Do that.
Lift down, that'll be
There you
lovely.
go. On your feet. Get on. Get to right, Jack.
Doing well.
You know, best thing about it, take the weight on me now. There you go. Keep going up, keep going further up, further up. Yeah, that part. Get on. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, some of that.
One more hat, right? 1, 2, 3, go. That's it. That's it. Swing his leg.
Now, this is not going to be pleasant when these boots come off. Let me tell you.
It wasn't pleasant getting my arm under yours at the time, mate. That's a bonus at the moment.
That's the one. Yeah.
2 minutes.
See which one to, whether it's be comfortable.
Oh, that wasn't me. That was you. Okay.
Oh dear.
Yeah, well, I think he's actually fairly stable because he's, checked his levels, heart rate's 75 to 80. Yep.
But if the weight off it, Luke might be able to ride it. He was feeling not too comfortable. John came off and Geordie came off, but I had one and the bike just bucked me straight over the other side of the road, and unfortunately it came down on the ribs and absolutely winded me, and I don't know, I think I've done some damage because I can't move at the moment. I just can't, at this point in time, just can't move at all, and I'm really quite concerned about the whole trip.
He's going to rest on a bike.
Yeah, that's it.
Or in a car maybe, whatever.
We'll just have to take softer tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, no. Take harder tracks.
Yeah,
The soft ones have the
yeah.
problem.
Which I meant.
But after Birdsville, really, the only option is
very, very soft.
they're all soft after.
No, not necessarily. We can always just
Go north.
Go north and around that way. And
Hopefully the doctor says rest for a couple of days and keep on moving. Just means we've got to have a bit of a run amok at this place, which, God, I know, you know. Like shit, my dad's in there all busted up, you know, I think he's pretty hurt, obviously. He's laying out there in the desert for 3 hours and couldn't even stand up. I don't really care about the trip at the moment, you know. I'm caring about my dad. That's my #1 priority. That's part of the reason I'm here. My family asked me to make sure, well, in the best I can, nothing too bad happens to my dad, and he's vice versa. He got the same talk. So,
You know, his hopes and dreams are hanging in the balance at the moment. He's got no idea what's going on. He just knows he's hurt himself. Bit of luck, it's just bruising, and Doc gave me the all clear, and he'll just have to put up with the pain. But if it's more than that, it could end the trip for him. I hope it's just superficial, and a few days of rest and he'll be on his way again. But just quietly, I don't think that's going to happen. I think it might be a trip stopper. So we'll see what happens.
Okay, this is going to be the hard part.
His feet down.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, it's not too bad.
Oh, you better.
I know that time has numbered my days, and I'll go along with everything you say. But I ride home laughing, look at me now, that the walls of my town, they come crumbling down. And my ears hear the call of my unborn sons, and I know that choices color all I've done. But I'll explain it all to the watchman's son. I never lived a year better.
Yeah, I know you've done well. How'd you manage that? I'm not real sure, something to my ribs.
Leroy is going to be in Broken Hill in the hospital until Monday, and Mike asked us if we could come down to Broken Hill so we can sit down with Leroy and decide what our next steps are. Leroy has fluid build-up on his lung, the side that he got injured. My impression that it's obviously he told me that's probably from the accident and a few other things, so they're keeping him there for a reason, I guess.
Yeah, ideally we need some more information before we proceed down there. More definite details would be handy. But I mean, if it's Leroy's decision for us to go down there, I'm quite happy to go down there. We've just got to maybe sacrifice a few things, some more of our luxury items perhaps, and work out what we're going to do with the third bike.
Unless it's spoken with Dad, he would definitely speak with Dad first, because he knows he wouldn't want to upset Dad, especially at a time like this. So I'm guessing before that phone call was made, they definitely had discussions. But then I'm guessing Dad's probably feeling pretty down and out about all this, which would make it quite tough.
Well, realistically, if it was urgent that we get back there, we could probably pack up and get back to Tibooburra this afternoon.
No, it's not. I mean, it can't be that urgent. He's not going anywhere until Monday. There's no point. While we're here, there's no point going to another camp while we're set up, and we just do a run tomorrow.
All day.
Well, we'll take 5 hours.
Are the bike's going to make it there in that time? Cassie just goes, I'll tell you why I hate spiders. When I was a kid.
Threw one at you.
No.
Closer.
My name's Andy Jenkins and I cut up pennies with a saw. Takes about 3.5 to 4 hours or half a day to remove all of the blank pieces from a penny. Then after I've cut them up, of course, I get them 24 karat gold plated. Now 27 years, we used the kangaroo design on a penny, 1938 to 1964. And of course people request particular dates, birthdays, weddings, stuff like that. Now the fun part about this is, of course, these are owned by the government, but I have special permission from the Treasurer of the Australian government to be able to do what I do like this. It's all pretty neat stuff. Now I also make Australian dollars, but I do those in sterling silver. Then I have some of those gold plated, and they come up like that. It's all fun stuff to be able to do things like that. But yeah, that's the way it's all done. And I'm stuck out here in the middle of the desert. Doing
How long have you been here?
Only since 1990.
And what's the story with the bicycles?
I collect old bicycles and make sculptures from them. There's a sculpture hanging on the wall outside. That's what I do. It's good fun to be able to do things like that. Yeah. But which one did you? A silver sixpence. No, it's a sixpence. Yeah. Give her an Aussie one rather than a.
Yeah.
My name's Adrian Bennett and I moved to Australia in 2006 to open a Mad Max museum here in Silverton, which is far west of New South Wales in Australia. Mad Max 2 was totally original. It was really groundbreaking. The story, the costumes, everything about the film, the action, it was just so original. And I think it was the fact that it was Australian helped as well. It was totally different. The landscape as well helped a lot with the film. It's a very beautiful landscape.
Mad Max 2 was filmed predominantly in Broken Hill, but there was a fair part of it done out here at Silverton. We're still surprised with the interest that's in Mad Max 2. People are still rushing through the doors and saying, oh, Mad Max 2 was filmed here. And so for 30 years that cult film has continued to help Silverton move along in the film industry.
And they roll it down, one hand on the bar, one hand behind your back, and roll it down your nose and catch it in the funnel.
See, the money's
all together.
Okay.
I need a different smoke. I'll just donate one too.
I'm struggling to keep it balanced.
Alright, 1, 2.
You're wearing bloody shorts!
Worst thing is I knew it was coming.
Take a step, it just keeps stuck on.
And be proud.
Proud and cold in the pants.
It's not really good, is it?
No, well, if you keep it up.
Yeah, keep the practice rolling. Lee was transferred down to us from the flying doctors down at Broken Hill Hospital here, and after having the fall on his bike. And unfortunately, despite him wanting to continue on with his adventure, he's had a pretty nasty rib fracture and a bit of bleeding around the lung, which can be quite serious. So we've been watching him here for a few days, and hopefully we'll get out of here soon. But the prospect of him going on and continuing his motorbike riding is really not something that's viable at the moment. So we're advising that he heads home, which he's pretty disappointed about, because obviously he wants to keep going, but at the moment it's just it's not really a possibility.
So I can't fly.
I hadn't thought about that one. It's not like plenty.
Sorry?
I said if we can save the whole Simpson area and then go on back up the way we came. 40.
Yeah, we haven't been slowing down either.
Yeah, it would have been either.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, it'd still be there.
We've only got a couple of choices of dirt road.
Highway run to the midnight sun. Wheels go round and round on my mind.
Swing ready. Plays for a bit.
Restless heart.
Yeah.
Pretty good, there. There you go. Yeah, good, mate.
Yeah, no, that one. Take two.
Save it the road, ain't no place to start a family. Right down the line, it's been you and me. Loving and feeling ain't always
Well tried.
oh, girl, you stay
Look down on it. Just silly was there. Huge lake. So, Billy's on.
The lever of that seat and slide it back at the same time.